Welcome to Doing the Dang Thing podcast. I am your host, Jill Schmeeding, and this podcast is all about helping everyday women play big and aspire for more. And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about sexual safety. Yes, that taboo subject that no one likes to talk about. Well, I'm here for it, 110%. You know, last week I had Heather Morgan on the show, and she was super honest, super open, and super vulnerable about all of her past relationships, her current relationships, and all the things in between. I love having Heather on the show, and we asked 4 questions. We talked about 4 questions you should ask yourself when you're entering a new relationship. I think it's a great episode, and if you haven't listened to it, I would encourage you to go back and check it out because this one kind of goes hand in hand with that. When you're in a new relationship, talking about sexual safety is important, in my personal opinion. And it was a subject that came up because this last year, I haven't talked to you guys about this at all. I've just been kind of doing my life, but I'm open to talking about it now. And what I'm going to say is for this last year, I have been exploring polyamory. And maybe you're like, Poly what? And I'm here to explain it to you. Polyamory is a form of ethical non-monogamy that involves committed relationships between 2 or more people, typically romantic relationships. Okay, I'm going to let that simmer because that might have been a little surprise for some of my listeners out there. But I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I just have to say that. And not only have I thoroughly enjoyed it, I have learned so much about myself and so much about life in general going down this path. I do not regret it at all, actually. And I think it has really helped me become the person that I am today, which has really helped me just become available for, it has just made me a better individual for any partners that I have going forward. And, I think some people wonder if I'm going to stay with polyamory or if I'm going to go back to monogamous relationships. And, we'll figure that out as I go. And maybe I'll talk about it on the show. But for right now, I just wanted to say that it was because my last year doing polyamory that I learned so much about sexual safety. And another thing that I've learned is talking to people about sexual safety is not always the easiest, but my girls and I are here for it. We talk about it all the time amongst ourselves, and I learned something. No one seems to know. No one is a strong absolute, which I talk about. I talk in absolutes. Not very many people seem to know about STDcheck.com. STDcheck.com. It's actually pretty amazing. And before I knew about it, I would go to the doctor's office, pay for the doctor's office, right? Which could be like upwards of $70, give or take. And it's different for everybody. And then I'd have to pay for the tests, but then they'd have to go through insurance. And then I was just kind of like, hoping and praying that it wasn't more expensive or whatever the cost is going to be after the insurance gets done, taking their, whatever out of it. And it was just really annoying to me. And then on top of that, I don't even think I got the test results back very quickly. So I was so happy when someone told me about STDcheck.com. And what is that particular website? Well, I'm here to tell you all about it. It is a website that's going to give you control over your sexual health. And I think that is so important. It's going to give you the control over your sexual health. And it eliminates any sort of embarrassment or hassle of going to the doctor's office. It is FDA approved. All the tests are the same tests that a doctor's office or a hospital would use. And you don't have to go through insurance, okay? Nothing is reported to an insurance. You literally pay for the price on the website, which we're going to get into. And they've been around and in business for over 20 years. So it's not just, something that just started up. It's been around for over 20 years. Why do I like STDcheck.com so much other than there's plenty of other options out there, but why do I like them? Well, I'm here to tell you why I like them. When you're going to get tested, you want everything. And I think this is something that my friend brought up to me when I told her that I was going to do this episode. When it comes to HSV or herpes 1 and 2, the doctors when you go to the doctor's office, depending on who you have, you're like, hey, I want to get tested for herpes 1 and 2. And they're like, well, unless you have a breakout, we're not going to test you for it. Well, it doesn't really work that way. So you want to know before you have a breakout. You want to know if you have it, right? And so that's just really frustrating that the doctors do that. And I know my friend went through that situation, so it's a very real thing. And I think I even got told that same thing. Well, if you have a breakout, then we'll test you for it. And I'm just like, okay, that's defeats the purpose. STD check, they don't mess around. They have a 10 test panel. A 10 test panel where you can go in and get tested for HIV 1 and 2 antibodies, okay, syphilis, gonorrhea, chlamydia, hepatitis A, B, and C, and herpes 1 and 2. Like the only one they leave out is trichomosis. And I don't know why they do that, because that's actually kind of an expensive test as well on the side. But it is what it is. I'm still very thankful that they do this 10 test panel, and it's completely confidential. They have amazing testing locations. You're literally going to go to Quest or LabCorp, which has over 4,500 testing centers nationwide. So there's a LabCorp or a Quest near you, I promise you. And they have competitive pricing. Like I said, it's the lowest in the industry. And for like $139, you can get this 10 test panel. And they usually have discounts. That's the beautiful thing. They have like a 10% discount. They have Father's Day discount just this last weekend I saw. And also they have a discount if you get a test for your partner. So if you're having sex with someone and both of you need to get tested, you can get yours ordered. And then you can actually get like save $10 on your test. And I think your partner actually saves some money as well. So it's really beneficial to do it together, which obviously there's just so many other reasons why it's beneficial to get tested with your partner to make sure everyone is being safe. And they take multiple payment options, anything from cashier's checks, HSAs, flex savings, your normal credit card, debit card, cashier checks. Though, did I say that? I said that one already. But cryptocurrency and PayPal. Who would have thought? So they make it so easy for you. There's no reason why you should not do this. I promise you, you will not go back to the doctor's office to do an STD check again. And maybe you're wondering, well, what happens if I come back positive? Well, first of all, they have great customer service. But if you do come back positive, then they're going to set you up with a doctor consultation and present you with some treatment options. So they do not leave you high and dry. And I remember getting some test results once and I was a little confused on what was going on. I just think that the way that Quest does their results page was just like, what is this? Like I couldn't tell if it was positive, negative, or what was going on. I called them up, kind of frantic, called them up, and I was just like, wait, what is this? Am I positive? Am I negative? What's going on? And they're like, you're good. Like it's just the way they do it. And I was just like, okay, that's fine. Negative for everything, which I was happy about, right? And it's just, and at this point in the game, I'm so comfortable talking about it that there isn't really anything that phases me for the most part. And I actually really want to accredit that to the last year of doing polyamory, if I'm being honest with you, because people in that lifestyle, they know how to communicate. They know how to talk. They know how to be open, and they are so amazing. At least the people that I have experienced talking to. I'm not saying everyone is like that, of course, but I'm saying the people that I came across, it was so easy to talk about stuff. And I just think that for me personally, it gave me this sense of like, okay, like I can have this conversation. I can talk about it. Like it's not taboo. It's not pointing fingers at somebody. It's not about that. It is because you want them to get tested. It's not about that. It is just being safe. That's all it is. And so I do encourage you, if you're out there and you are somebody who is, practicing free love, as they say, which I love that. I love that saying. But if you're practicing free love, and consider using stdcheck.com. I will have a link in the show notes for the website, so it'll take you right there. You create an account online. You can read up on everything they have. It's really cool because let's just say you're out there and you just got tested for, let's say, chlamydia and gonorrhea, but you didn't know about this, and so now you want to get tested for, herpes 1 and 2, or syphilis, or hepatitis, or whatever, you can order those tests individually. So you can order whatever test you need at this particular moment. You don't have to get the 10 test panel. I just think that it's very comprehensive and awesome. And, it's important. One thing that I talked about with my partner this last year, who was polyamorous, and I was in a relationship with them, they talk about getting tested like quarterly, actually. And so it's nice to just know that every quarter you're going to get this 10 test panel done to make sure that everything is on the up and up for all of you and your partners. It's awesome. I love it. I encourage you to try it out. If this is a place of, if you're in a space right now where you need to know your sexual status and, for STIs and STDs and all the things, I encourage you to use it. It's awesome. And I think you won't go back to the doctor's office ever again for something like this. In my personal opinion. That's all. That's all I got for you on this episode. I encourage you to share this particular episode if you have a friend out there who is sexually active with more than one partner. I encourage you to share this episode with them, because one thing that I will say, hardly anyone that I know that I come across is familiar with STDcheck.com, which is mind-boggling to me. But I was like that a year ago. So now I am telling everybody about it, and I'm just super happy to spread the news. Spread the good news about STDcheck.com, because it is a great website. So please share this episode with any of your friends. It's a very quick, less than 15 minutes episode where they can be informed. Knowledge is power. Safety is power. And I just encourage you to check it out. So that's all I got for you. If you like this podcast and you like what you hear on this podcast and it's helping you play big and aspire for more in your life, I would really love to hear from you by you leaving a review on Apple Podcast or Stitcher or Spotify, wherever you tend to listen to your podcast. Please leave a review, because it does also help my podcast get to other people, get more listeners and all the things. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. I can encourage you to keep doing the dang thing, keep playing big, and keep aspiring for more. Take care, everyone.